Wuchang Fallen Feathers is one of the most underrated Soulslikes. And that's unfair for me because actually it understands something many modern Souls-like forgot. Atmosphere and level design matter more than spectacle. It doesn't try to overcome Elden Ring with its open-world elements. It doesn't try to rely on endless parries like Lies of P. Instead, it quietly builds a world that feels dangerous, interconnected, and worth getting lost in, closer to original Souls. The first thing that stayed with me wasn't the bosses. It wasn't the combat system. It was a feeling of getting lost. That sounds simple, but modern Souls-likes almost never achieve this anymore. Most games in genre have become obsessed with speed and spectacle. Bigger bosses, faster combat, louder animations, everything feels designed for clips and reaction videos. But Wuchang feels designed for wandering. Something closer to Bloodborne or Dark Souls 1. That is a game design pattern in Wuchang Fallen Feathers. The feeling of old-school exploration, that is the core. The feeling that I've opened up a shortcut and suddenly realized where am I. The feeling of seeing a distant structure and eventually discovering I can reach it. The feeling that the world itself is folding back into itself. I think that is why I became emotionally attached to this game from the start. No map, no points of interest marked on it. Dangerous world that forced me to pay attention. A lot of modern Souls-like feel engineered in lab. You can almost see the checklist. Stamina combat, dodge roll, checkpoint system, giant bosses, difficult enemies, dark fantasy, aesthetic. But Wuchang doesn't feel assembled from genre parts. It feels like developers actually understood why these games work emotionally. Hype changes the way people experience games. When a game launches with massive expectations, players start looking for flaws immediately. They compare every mechanics to a masterpiece before the game even has a chance to breathe. But Wuchang broke that rule a little. Another Souls-like slowly changed to something much more self-contained. Wuchang takes its time. It trusts atmosphere, pacing and exploration. And ironically, that restraint makes it stand out more than most games screaming for attention. There is a strange thing happening to Souls-like right now. They are becoming mechanically impressive but emotionally forgettable. I finish them, admire the combat sometimes, maybe meet a few interesting bosses, then move on. Very few actually stay in my mind. But Wuchang stands on one line for me with such titles as Dark Souls 1, Lies of P, Elden Ring. It's a list of games that created emotional memory. I think Wuchang succeeds because it understands the balance. The combat has weight without becoming exhausting. The exploration rewards curiosity without being overwhelming. The world feels dangerous without feeling unfair. And even the boss's variety is really impressive. By the way, there are some discussions currently about Wuchang rating collapse once it reached a wider audience through PS Plus. At first that sounds pessimistic. But to be honest, I think hardcore fans aren't worried because they think the game is bad. They are worried because Souls-like games are niche by nature. Once a difficult game reaches casual audience, ratings often drop because people judge frustration instead of the design. That happens constantly with difficult games. But I still hope the opposite will happen with Wuchang, and the wider audience will dive into this fantastic world. In the end, I think I love Wuchang because it feels sincere. That sincerity is hard to explain, but you immediately recognize it when you feel it. It's the difference between the game trying to imitate Dark Souls and the game trying to understand why Dark Souls matter. Wuchang doesn't feel obsessed with becoming the next viral sensation. It remembers the most important thing, that the best Souls-like don't just challenge you, they make you want to keep walking forward. Thanks for watching, hit that like button and subscribe for more Wuchang Fallen Feathers, lore and guide videos, and stay sharp out there.